Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hey friends, welcome back to another day at the podcast where we always share great guests. Like that's just what's going to happen when you listen in. So of course I have another one here today. My new friend, oh my gosh, I'm so excited I met this gal. Her name's Amber Griffiths and she's the CEO of Branding Expert of Your Brand by Design. She's driven by the belief that every entrepreneur has a unique voice and that only they can share. As an entrepreneur, Amber chaired the education committee of NAWBO, NABO, and she's currently a member of the eWomen Network, Public Speakers Association, and Women's Coaching Association. She is a two-time #1 best-selling author, and she was recently awarded the Best of the West in Branding Award. Before launching her own business, Amber served as Vice President for Prudential Utah Real Estate for more than 8 years. She has spoken to audiences across the country to educate and support small business. Amber has spent more than 2 decades working with business owners and entrepreneurs, creating brands worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. She is dedicated to helping entrepreneurs exponentially, and I can't even speak today, increase their profits, work with people that excite them, and reveal the genuine thrill of getting paid to do what they love. Amber enjoys everything music related, attending live concerts, impromptu dance parties in the kitchen with her daughter, and singing anywhere the acoustics allow. If you spend more than 20 minutes with her, you will hear at least one movie quote, a handful of Amberisms. Amber highly recommends watching the movie Real Genius. It is totally 80s and wonderful, and it will help you understand at least 20% more of her sense of humor. Love it. Oh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I love the sense of humor. That it makes the world go round.
Oh, it really does. Life is too short to not love what you do.
Oh, so true. Mine's if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. That's
exactly right. That's exactly right. It's part of my thing. I'm like, it either has to bring me joy or money or both, or I'm out.
Fair enough. I agree. Well, so tell me a little more about you. Like, what's your story?
My story, I started in corporate. In fact, I started clear back. I was going to be a pharmacy technician and got a scholarship to go do that, had a job, and then went, wow, this is really boring and there's no people here. And there was no joy in it. So I jumped ship and changed my degree, and I've just been loving it. I started out as a graphic designer, and even though my background's in marketing and branding, I could say I'm a graphic designer because it was easy and everybody knows what that is. And then I realized that I wasn't happy. I was doing this much of who I really was. And so I thought, well, I should talk about it that way. And that really has led me to what I'm doing now, which is branding, which is claiming 100% of who you are, working with 100% of the people that you love, and making 100% of the money and the impact that you want to make. So that's my journey in a nutshell.
And if people really would realize, like, I'm the branding, I want to say I'm the branding queen of changing brands. You know, I get bored with something, and that's why I've had 9 startup companies. I get bored, I go, and I don't always stop what I'm doing before I start another one. I usually have about 3 juggling at a time. But, you know, when it doesn't feel right, it's like, if you're not always reinventing yourself, so these people that get stuck on the same brand, the same logo, the same, to me, it's not very innovative. I love change, you know? Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it, but you know, don't you find working with entrepreneurs, they're a lot like that now? Like
they really are. They really are. And I think part of it is because they're doing what they love instead of a job, instead of a 9 to 5 or something that they just figured out they can make money doing this. What they're doing is their passion, and it's what they live for. And so I think when they get to a certain point, they're like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. What's next? what comes next? And sometimes it's still in the same thing. Sometimes it's a coach that her vision just changes and her passion just changes, but she's still in that coaching arena. And sometimes it's completely night and day. You've got people who are VAs, and then all of a sudden they're going to go and run a real estate company, and somewhere in between they've done 5 other things. But yeah, they follow their passion. And so as that shifts, if it stays the same, great. But if it shifts, great.
Yeah, and that's okay. When I rebranded last year to Prosperity, I used Prosperity Profilers. I loved it because it fit everything I was doing. I was like trying to figure out, and that's why, and I talked to several branders. It was way before you and I met, and I was just trying to figure out, like, how can I put everything I do under one umbrella? Because I could make it fit. Other people couldn't see that vision, but I could. I was like, no, I'm all about teaching multiple streams of income. It's okay to do more than one thing. I say eggs all in one basket, you'll end up scrambled. That's what I say. You will.
I like that.
I want people to be recession resistant. And so that's where Prosperity came from. And so everything I do is branded around prosperity. And for me, that was a hard work because I struggled with it because I'm not about money and power. Like, I'm about relationships and people.
Yeah.
And so to name it Prosperity, it's like, like I had to get over that. I had to change my own mindset around prosperity, thinking it's okay to be prosperous. It's okay.
Right.
And we can be prosperous in so many different things,
Right.
And so
Right.
I'm sure you working with your clients, I mean, I'm sure you have to have those hurdles as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's, especially with entrepreneurs, they've been taught that money is bad or money is the root of all evil, and it's not good to want money. I'm like, but who can hear you? If you are in the poorhouse, if you're not taking care of yourself and making the money you want, your host, your family's host, and your people can't hear you. You cannot serve if you are in scarcity. So you have to prosper. You have to be able to embrace that and say, yep, this is how the world works. And if I'm making money, I can make money to share how it works and how I am benefiting the world. I get that. I think you're right. Prosperity is not just about money. I think there's the success in there. There's fulfillment in there. Fulfillment is a huge part of mine, where you have to be like, you can have all the money in the world and be miserable if you're not fulfilled, if you are not prospering, not just financially, but all the other, elements, mentally, emotionally, etc.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So most of your clients are who? Like, who would be your avatar?
I really like the small business owners. Not necessarily the ones who are startups, although I absolutely love their excitement and their passion for it. The small business owners who are like, okay, I have been collecting all these things. I went to a trade show, so I heard and did this, and I hurried and did this. And I really want to look as professional as I feel. Like, I want everything out there. And the other thing I hear a lot of is, I'm tired of the hustle. How do I get them to call me? I'm like, okay, now we're ready to actually build your brand. You're more clear about where you want to go and what you want to do. We just have to create this entity, this brand that reflects all of that. That, like you said, everything can fit underneath it if you brand it properly, whether that's books or teaching or coaching or 20 other services. Your brand can encompass all of that. And it can actually become your sales force, so that while you are, on vacation, as a small business, I realize people are like, no, there's no vacation. I work 24/7. And building a brand really does get you back that freedom. You don't have to work 80 hours a week. You can take a vacation because your brand is out there working for you.
Absolutely. Okay, so what do you think the biggest mistake people make about their brand?
Other than them thinking their brand is their logo, because it's not. Their logo is this much of it. I think the biggest mistake they make is they lose sight of their vision. They lose sight of why they got started. They get so worked up with the competition, which I don't believe exists. But they start looking outward and going, well, what are they doing? I should try that. And what are they doing? And I should try that. And it's never going to work for you the way it did for them. So you end up just shooting all over you and your business and not getting anything done. You go very, very quickly in the wrong direction, when really, if you just took a step back, took a breath, and remembered what you're doing and why you're doing it, the people you wanted to serve, the people that your solution, you are uniquely qualified to help them. Yeah. If you remember that part, the competition doesn't exist. Right. You get to focus on you and your people, and don't worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. I also think, find somebody to model. If they're doing something right, You don't copy people.
Right.
You model them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
All the gurus model somebody.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the things I teach is there are no new ideas. There is only the customization and the implementation of the fundamentals. So don't get so caught up in trying something new, because you can't. It's all the movies have been done before, all the books have been done before, all the courses have been done again. Yes. But you do it your way. Do it, figure out a way to make it work for you and to make it work for your ideal clients. And that's where you will have success. Absolutely.
And I think don't listen to someone professional that can give you advice, but in your heart and soul, if you know it to be true, whatever you're doing, don't let anyone stop you, because I think that confidence thing comes in where we start second guessing. I mean, I've had that my whole life where it's like, you know, that not good enough, that, you know, I've struggled with that. It's like, and
that whole pile you tell yourself.
What's that?
That whole pile of nonsense we tell ourselves. No, nobody would want to pay me to do that. I'm not good enough. I'll do that as soon as I do this, I'll be good enough to do it when.
Yes. Mine was, I don't know enough. I'm not smart enough. Like, I struggle with that. You know what I finally realized? I'm not dumb or I'm not stupid. I just know different things than you do.
Exactly.
Because I would let people with these big high degrees or doctors intimidate me. And no, I just know different things, because like I work with doctors all the time now. They don't know anything about publishing a book because they've never done it.
Right. You're a genius in your own stuff. So quit worrying about everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
Just be your own
way.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we talked about branding is not your logo. Mm-hmm. So let's describe it. Let's go a little deeper with that. Let's describe, what would you say to somebody who's listening to this going, what do you mean? I have a cool logo. I'm good. I got a website. I got that.
The people who say I've got a logo, I just rebranded. I got a new logo. I think, I want to just shake you or hug you. I can't decide which comes first, but I will do both. Your brand, the way I define it is everything you say and everything you do that will create and nurture a powerful and profitable relationship with your ideal client. It is this intentional collection of promises. This is how they experience you. Your brand is not a list of services. It's how, when you brand it, all your services can fall underneath that. But your brand is what they experience with you, how they feel about you, how you share. The reason somebody comes to you instead of just ordering it on Amazon is because of your brand. The reason they come to you for the information instead of Googling it is because of your brand. It's that commitment and that experience they have with you, and that's where your value is. That is what creates customer loyalty. That's what gets them calling you instead of you hustling to call them, is them saying, no, I don't know what it is, but this is, the way they refer you is not, I got a logo from her or I got a book from her. It's, I had this amazing experience. She took such good care of me. It was wonderful. I highly recommend her. That's branding. That is how you create that.
Absolutely. I had a thought I was going to say. I was going to tell a story real quick. I was going to say one thing that I did where I learned branding the most of mine has been like by accident. I'll do something because I think it's awesome, and then it is, and then it's like all of a sudden becomes your brand, so you shouldn't do things by accident, but I had a commercial I had written by Wayne Newton's music director. That was my connection, and he wrote me the commercial for real estate. And back when we used radio, I don't use radio anymore, but I did, and it was on the Sounds of Sunday, so a lot of our area would play it on the radio, and then I had commercials during the week. Well, it was really catchy. Like, my kids would walk down the high school, down the hallways, and the kids would be singing my jingle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. And my kids were so embarrassed. They were, Mom.
You're like, no, this is branding. This is business. This is money. It's okay.
It was like, well, anyway, so what was funny was I was sitting in a home show one time, and a little girl comes running through the garage at the Prada Homes, and I had a booth in there. And her mom said, she was like 8. She thought I was a celebrity, right? She didn't realize I had paid for all of that, right? It's like, okay, I paid for that. But it was so funny. She wanted me on my autograph, no lie.
Oh, wow.
5 years later, after that was off the air, that commercial, not even playing, people still came up to me and said they heard my commercial. Like 5 years later, it hadn't even been on the air at all. Yeah. They still thought they were hearing it. That's how powerful that was.
Wow. That's part of that is probably consistency, and part of that is that because you say it's by accident. It's true to you. Just because it's accidental doesn't mean, I mean, that's a level of clarity when it comes out and it's brilliant. That's a level of clarity most people achieve to be. But it's like, I always compare it to Coke. Coke has an amazing brand.
Right.
People will, if I start singing, I'd like to teach the world to sing, they know the next part of that. Have a Coke and a smile. People understand that. And it's not about the billions of products. It's about, oh, I remember that. And it's a memory thing, and it's a feeling, it's an experience. There's money in that. There's loyalty in that.
Yeah.
You're a celebrity and I know you.
Yeah, right. Well, it was funny because my slogan was I'm on top of it, because it was real estate. I'm on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, people turned that to be dirty. They did, whatever. But they see me, they'd be like, there's Holly Porter. She's on top of it.
I love it.
They knew it. And so, like I said, I didn't really plan it that way. It just worked out. And I wish everything I ever did would work out that well.
If you're consistent and have a plan, it will.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I get bored easy, and then I'll go focus on something else, and I'll rebrand that. But, I've had 9 startup companies, and they've all been successful, so it's all good.
Brilliant. You're doing something right.
I know. I want that phone number back. It was 1877 by Holly, and one day somebody said that phone number doesn't work, and I'm like, what? Something happened back when 800 numbers. There was some telecommunications going on. This is years ago. I lost the phone number.
Oh no.
And to this day, I still can't get it. Like, it's not even going anywhere right now, and I can't figure out how to get it. So anyone listening,
phone experts.
If you can help me figure out how to get that 1877 by Holly number back, man, you will be my best friend forever.
No kidding.
I want, even not for that commercial. When I ran for political office, he rewrote the same jingle to my political song.
So that jingle's still associated with you. How that jingle makes them feel and bounce down the halls, and they still associate that with you.
Phone number doesn't work. I've looked for other phone numbers.
We need to do more research on that.
Thank you. Yes.
Put that on your to-do list. Get it back.
I'll call the number. One time it went to some auto parts thing and just no one cared about the number. And I'm like, give me the dang number.
Yeah, it matters to me. I care.
Nobody's using it. It goes nowhere last time I checked. 1877 by Holly. Let me know.
There we go. Some expert will hear.
But you can do things like that for people. Like, it's amazing how, okay, so let's talk about, like, what do you do? What are all your services that you would do? If somebody's like, I want a brand. I want a brand.
Really, I can take you all the way from the foundation to the strategy to the implementation. My favorite part is that foundation, because as you grow and as marketing changes, your brand can evolve with you. It doesn't create this whole need for a complete overhaul. So it's really that strategy, creating that foundation about who you are, what you offer, and who you serve. And whether you are an entrepreneur or you are in direct sales or in some kind of a corporate where you have to stand out, you can create your personal brand and that will drive your CEO lifestyle. This will absolutely take you from I'm one of 10,000 to I'm the only one, So it starts with the consultations, and you can hook up with offer a free consultation for that. We do coaching. I have workbooks and all kinds of stuff, but really we should just have a conversation and make sure that what you think you need is what you need. It's one of my biggest, it's part of why I finally jumped from corporate into my own business, is because I watched people do it the hard way. I watched people flail and spin their wheels. I'm like, oh, a little bit of clarity can go so far. So that's really where I like to start with people.
Don't you think that if people would realize in the beginning, if they'd make that investment, they already spent a lot of money starting their business, growing their business. And if they, when I first got into not just coaching, but having a coach, my first official paid coach was 2009. And my husband at that time, he was like, that's what you need to be doing, because he saw how much money I was investing. Yes. Well, I went from having a horrible business partner situation for a very short time and losing $80,000 in this salon and spa in a small town. So that was a lot of money, to making a profit and paying a coach a lot of money, during that whole year. And so I felt like, oh yeah. So it was that mindset of going, if I'd realize investing in my brand, investing in somebody who can help me, how much faster that learning curve would be, and how much better your income
Absolutely. Your ROI is huge. When you can create, I've watched it happen, I've helped it happen. When you connect with your brand so profoundly, you will easily 10x your income. And that's just not a number. Like, I've watched it happen. I worked with this woman who all we did is talk about her ideal client, and she didn't change her services at all. She just changed the way she talked about it and who she was attracting. And she went from $200 contracts that were taking her 12 hours to complete to $1,200 contracts, and they're taking her 3 and 4 hours to complete. It's different.
That's not even minimum wage.
That's nothing. That's like secretarial, like starter, low end, like it's not minimum wage. It's bottom of the barrel type stuff.
Well, and entrepreneurs aren't even getting minimum wage.
No,
not even.
No, and it's all because of that mindset. It's again, it comes back to that nonsense of I'm not good enough. I can't charge that. Nobody will pay me that. I'm not worth that. It's a load of stuff. And if you get super clear about what all of you have to offer, it becomes very easy to price yourself the right way. You don't charge for your time. You charge for the value you provide and the results that you cause. And that is a completely different way to do your business. So there's definite money in this. I mean, if you figure anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, most entrepreneurs spend that just in social marketing.
Right.
Imagine if it could actually make you a profit. And because of your messaging, because of your consistency, get that returned and then some. That's a brand. That's what it can make you. It's huge.
Hey, I'm laughing when I'm saying this even to myself, but I'm really going to say it out loud. When you say all the scientific words, it really is.
It's branding math. It's not even hard.
Right. But when I said, what do you do when you start? What do you start to finish? Oh my gosh, I almost, only because I've done a lot of branding, I almost glazed over. So people listening, if I did it, I know somebody listening did it. So like talk a little bit like bigger terms and not scientific words.
In what I do?
Yeah, like someone's brand new. Maybe you're not wanting to work with someone brand new, but you know, because you're not going to take on a client. I know you have a good heart. You're not going to take somebody and just take their money. Like you're going to, if you don't feel like you can serve them, or they're not clear enough on their message or where they're going with it. Yeah. Or you're just like, no, I really don't want to take your money right now. This is what you need to do.
Yeah. And then here's a starter, and then we'll work together later. But I want to make sure you get on the right foot. Right. Yeah. So look at it this way. Think of the one thing that you do really, really well. Like that's one of the things entrepreneurs do is they're like, I can do 20 things. Stop that just a little bit. When it comes to branding, think of the one thing that brings you the most joy and the most money. It is often founded in core values. So if you want to get started, list your core values, and don't just list them, then go back and rank them. Decide which ones are actual core values that are complete deal breakers. Like you leave money on the table because there's something off, it's out of alignment with that core value. Right. If it's hey, that's a really good idea, it's still a core value, but it's not ranked as high as the first one, right? So like integrity, huge core value. Oh, yeah. This is where I would start and say, okay, integrity is a huge part of what I do. I would not hire someone if they were out of integrity. I would not outsource to them. I would not do business with them. I'd take them on as a client. For me, that's my big one.
And do your research, by the way.
You do your research. Talk to who else they've worked with. Yes. And talk to them, have a conversation, and just ask them questions. Don't ask them what their core values are, because they'll, here's the shallow stuff. Yeah. How they made their last 5 years. Why did you find your money, your resources in what you did? That will help you understand why they value what they value, and if you're really in alignment. That's part of how you start building your brand. Decide what's important to you. It will help you make decisions of where to market, where to network, who to work with as far as clients, and who to work with as far as team. Start there. Does that make more sense?
No, yeah.
You can do that in your living room right now.
No, I love that. That was great. That was a great nugget. And I hope you listening, I hope you realized how important what she just said was, because if you're not clear, you're going to be wasting your money.
Yeah. You will spin your wheels.
I've spent a lot of money doing that.
Yep. I have done it the hard way.
Yeah. And so listen to people that have had that experience, because, I realized running for political office is like, that was not my journey. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, feeling like a loser was actually feeling like a winner now. I'm looking back going, I won. I was the biggest winner.
Yeah.
That was not my journey. And it wasn't that I was serving. I'm always interested in serving. I was serving the wrong people.
Right.
So when I figured out the right ones, then they are drawn to me.
And absolutely. Then you're not making the phone calls hustling. They're searching you out. They're going, oh, I want some of that. I don't know. I don't even care what the service looks like. I know she has the island I want. I know I can go play on that island. She can get me there. That's how people start coming to you. That's how you make your phone ring. That's how you fill up your inbox with the right people. Not $20 the hard way. Like people who actually value what you want. Do not question your value. Do not ask you for discounts. That's one of those powers of the brand. You want all your time is precious. You want to work with the people that make you money and make you happy. And when you speak clearly about what you offer, those people are attracted to that. Not the ones who want, could you just do this one? And I just want to pick your brain and all that nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you have a strategy session, discovery session.
Yes.
You have available. Yes. So our listeners, if you're listening and you can see what a genius Amber is, you'll want to sign up for one of those. So where would they go?
You can find my calendar by going to yourbrandbydesign.com/duet. It's DUET. And that's just a one-on-one conversation, as the name implies. We figure out where you're getting stuck, what you're trying to create, make sure it's a good fit, and really outline a path to taking you from where you are to where you want to be and how that brand can get you there. So it's yourbrandbydesign.com/duet.
I'll also add that to the show notes in here.
Thank you.
You can check that out and a little bit more about Amber on there as well.
Thank you.
Any last words of wisdom or anything on your heart that you want to share as we part?
There's too much. We talked about at the top that life is too short not to laugh. Life is too short not to enjoy it. And being an entrepreneur and being a small business is too hard not to make money and to enjoy it. Your brand gets to be your outside sales force. It gets to carry you through and make that commitment to your ideal clients. There is nothing quite like getting paid to do what you love to do by people who are excited to pay you. And it allows you the freedom to do what else you love to do. All your free time, it all comes back with branding. I would love to work with you. Let's chat.
That's right. No, I think that's great. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, I hope you realized what a great information you had to listen to today and watch if you watched the video. So thank you so much for joining us, Branding. I was going to call you Branding.
That's how well my brand works.
Hey, Amber, brand. Okay, there you go. No, I'm so glad we got you on here. And
thank you.
And then go take advantage of grabbing that, and then we will see you at another day here at the podcast. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together, and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.